I want now work with shaitan differently. SubhanAllah. What that means is that I begin to strategize against shaitan. Many people, when you tell them, how do you fight shaitan? They say, alhamdulillah, bin salli, bin qum, bin kada. It's not always the same way. What works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. We are different people. We have different experiences. But I have to be wise enough to choose my way to combat shaitan. And wallahi, it can be the simplest thing that you and I may have dismissed for so long. I remember one time, there was كان واحد من الشباب, and he was an alcoholic. And he came to me, he said, you know what, I just can't stop drinking. أشرب في الصباح وأشرب في الليل. I just can't stop drinking. And he said, I love it in the beginning, but it breaks me in the end. So what do I need to do? How can I break out from this addiction? How can I free myself? I feel that I'm imprisoned. And then, so he asks for a prescription, basically an imanic dose, but he's setting so many conditions. By saying what? Listen, Sheikh, but please don't begin by telling me I have to pray 5 times, I have to qum al-layl, I have to read Quran. He said, you're going to make it too hard. He said, whatever you're saying, I can't do. But I want to overcome my addiction. But the idea that I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. to pray for a half an hour before Fajr is just not practical. It's not achievable. So be real with me and tell me something that I can do. And wallah, I never forget that moment. It was so hard because normally that's the typical answers we give. Da'i Allah, come, companionship, it's typical answers. And then I remember, he said, I was like, khalas. I brought the Quran, and I said, okay, we'll make a deal. But you have to ihlif on the Quran that you're going to do whatever I tell you to do. If you ihlif, then I'll tell you, and we made a deal. And I told them, our agreement is that I just tell you to do one thing. Just one thing, nothing more. And I promise not to add, and wallahi, it's so easy, you'll feel good. He said, deal. So he brought the Quran, وحلف that wallahi, whatever you tell me, I'm going to do. I said, wallahu ala ma naqulu shaheed. I said, okay, the deal is, before you drink, say Bismillah. Before you take that glass, that bottle, that can, before you get drunk, just say Bismillah. And allow your heart to do the work. Khalas. And subhanAllah, wallahi al-azim, that Bismillah was the source of pushing him away from haram. He's just reminded of Allah. It can be that simple. It can be that simple.